Yeah, we're live. I just adopted the name School of Excellence. That's interesting to it. And let's see who is going to be the first to come on live. Let's see who is going to be the first to come on live. I was just done with the Read to Recall masterclass. Just went live there to address questions, and I felt that the energy is still there. The energy is still there. And do you have a question? Ask James. Do you have a question? Got a question? Ask James. Got a question? Ask James. Welcome everyone. This is very spontaneous, actually. Very spontaneous, actually. Please, if you're around, please let me know your name. And just have a call out like this already. Register your presence. If you're here, just let me know. Comment, I'm in. Desire Chinecherem. Now I can pronounce that too. Chinecherem. I think I pronounced that too. You're welcome. You see this thing you guys do on top of hello, good evening. Yeah, good evening, Desire. You see these special symbols that people will put on top of your names. I've gone through a lot with that. I've gone through a lot with that, especially during the sign up process. Especially during the sign up process, but there's no problem. So far as the people are paying me, there's no problem. Because here's the stuff, right? If you pay, this is just a random chat, right? So if you pay, you have to be my friend on Facebook. For the Read to Recall masterclass. So you have to be my friend on Facebook. And so most times, I'll tell you to send your link. Are you sure? Like you're saying it's a French name, I doubt. So you have to send your name to me, your Facebook name to me, or your link, no, the link to your Facebook name. And so I'll have to be trying to memorize those symbols on top for me to be able to add you up as a friend. Like, why do I have to go through such stress? But then you're paying for it, especially if you're signing up. So that's kind of good stress. So yeah. I want to start up immediately. If you have any question, academic question, academic sessions with me are paid. Let me just give you the context of this very free, spontaneous session. Academic sessions with me are paid. This is your opportunity to ask me questions that you're going to pay for freely. So if you have any academic question, please share with me. Share with us so we can get started. But then, I may not need that to get started. I shared a content, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, about primarily to 100 level students. And I shared 10 tips, 10 advices I had for Favor, my cousin that actually hit 5.0 GPA. And I started off with talking to him about luck, the concept of academic luck, right? And I shared with him, I was just like, luck is a residue of design. I think very important. Let's just dive deep into that because I feel that it's one of those so many things that so many students misconstrue and misunderstand, right? They feel that luck just happens. And that you see a student in 5.0, you're just like, he's lucky. You see a student that aced the course, maybe had 10 over 10, he's lucky, right? But then in that very stuff, like in my first tip right off the bat, I said, nah. Luck itself, especially for those students, those top students, it was created. It is a residue of design. It's a residue of the process. And so, most times you hear top students say something like, I think this was the example I gave, right? Most times you hear top students say something like, you see, I didn't know that the examiner will bring out question from that aspect, from that area, but I was very lucky that I covered it. That is the kind of luck you hear from top students. I didn't know he's going to ask me a question from there, but I'm very lucky that I covered it. He covered it nonetheless. And that was a process. That was a design. And it increased the surface area upon which luck could act. So academic excellence doesn't happen to anyone. It doesn't just happen from the sky. Nothing of what actually happens just happens. Except when you say something about so winning a lottery or something like that. But sustainably, nothing really of what sustainably just happens. Right? There are processes. There is a design. It's almost necessarily a product of the design. And so, my advice to Favor then, as it is my advice to you, is that you should be able to act rightly. Be a student of the process more than a student of the outcome. You see, so many people actually love luck. Some people will actually cling to luck or say, yeah, I'm just wishing for luck or pray for luck, right? Because they are so obsessed with the outcome and not the process. That was one thing I told Favor, right? Very obsessed with the outcome. Yes, we want academic excellence, but we don't want to read, we don't want to sleep well, we don't want to eat healthily, we don't want to bolster our memorization game. Because we're just so obsessed with the outcome. We want academic excellence, but not the process. Let me give you a more vivid explanation. Hello, David. So please like the should I say this post and comment. Just register your presence with your favorite emoji or whatsoever in the comment section. Let me know you're following. And so let me just give you a vivid example. If this is what I share with you today, and just say, okay, fine, this is the end of our spontaneous life session. It's okay. So think of academic excellence as a steps, all right? Okay, let's just say you're in the room, you're trying to climb up steps, all right? But then there are the stairs, there's that process. There's that process to getting to the first floor, right? You're on the ground floor, you're trying to get to the first floor. Let's say that first floor is academic excellence. So you're on the ground floor trying to get the first floor. What average students do is that they will just cross their legs and pray and just wish, whatever, that something magically should take them to the first floor. But there is the stairs. And something he or she doesn't know is that just by the side of the stairs, there's an elevator. I want you to get my point, right? Just by the side of the stairs, there is an elevator. But what most average students do is that maybe they just enter the door, they just maybe enter the gate and just stand from the gate and just sit down on the floor and just be wishing for luck. Just wishing for luck to meet them. But what do top students do? Top students say, okay, fine. What's the best way to climb up? What's the best way to attain excellence? What's the best way to get to the first floor of excellence, right? Okay, I have to climb the stairs. And then you begin to ask, where is the stairs? Where is the stairs? And then maybe the gate man, I'm giving an analogy here. So maybe the gate man says, oh, it is right there. You can take the stairs by that side. And then he walks right to the stairs and just wants to take it because he knows that that's the best step. While he leaves people that are praying and wishing for luck or something to magically take them up there. Now he then goes climb the stairs and he just found out by the side there's an elevator. Will you say that he's lucky? Okay, by the side he finds an elevator, just like, okay, fine. I could use the elevator too. That's actually, should I say, a faster vehicle for me to achieve my aim. Now that is what so many people call luck. That's the way the luck of top students are, right? They know the process, follow the process, and in the process of following the process, they find that there are faster processes, there are faster vehicles. There is an elevator. There's a stairs there's an elevator that is just beside the stairs. And so, recently, I was reading through a paper. I was very enamored by this idea of luck. Right? What is luck? What is chance? What is the role of chance in success? I think that took me to a 1976 study that was made on the concept of luck. I think the name of the study is, if I can get it rightly, Chase, Chance, and Creativity. And then I think Chase, Chance, and Creativity. You can go later and read up the study. It's quite enormous, right? There's a lot. So this is an American psychologist, was trying to study the phenomenon of luck. So what is luck? And what role does it play? Let me get you the name. Let me get you the actual name of let me get to the actual name of the paper, because I want you to even go through it if you can. I want you to go through it if you can. So was enamored this very idea of luck. I'm just like, how is it? Okay, what role does luck play in creativity, right? And he came up with a classification of luck. There are 4 kinds of luck. 4 kinds of luck. Okay, right. Let me see whether I can get it right here. So while it's opening, I really need to get you to read that. Remember, I told you something. I even shared it in that very post. Always learn. For you to be a top student, you must be someone that is obsessed with learning about learning. Right? You should be that student that, okay, fine. Yes, you want to take the stairs. But if you find an elevator, you hop on it almost immediately because it gives you an advantage in the academic game. Really important. I think the first question I've dropped here, but I'm coming. Let me just get this right. And so I've seen a first question and I'll be going through it. Even if it's just one question, there's no problem. All right. I think I've seen it. Oh, yes. So it was a 1978 research paper by Austin H. James. Right, James are always very smart. They're always very smart. So 1978 research paper by Austin H. James titled Chase, Chance and Creativity, the Lucky Art of Novelty. Novelty spelled Novelty. So Chase, Chance and Creativity, the Lucky Art of Novelty. And so in that brilliant work, he actually described what luck is, right? He divided luck into 4. And so the first one is blind luck. Blind luck is mostly the one that so many students pray for. I want to get an A and they are not working for it. I want to climb the first stairs, but I want to get to the first floor. I'm on the ground floor. I want to get to the first floor of excellence, but then I'm going to sit down on the floor and pray for it instead of taking the stairs. That is blind luck, and that is the luck about that's the luck that defines, should I say, something like where you are born, right? Maybe you're born into a rich family. That's you're lucky, or maybe the lottery. You have the lottery of beauty as well. I think it was Chris Rock that I heard that from in one of his specials. The lottery of beauty, something like that, right? Or maybe someone won the lottery. That's another aspect of blind luck. Now it's not that this luck doesn't happen. It's just like, you know, it is something that happens, right? But the probability of happening is really small. Something like that. So blind luck, maybe we do not have so much role to play in that. But there's a second type of luck, and that is luck by emotion. That is luck by emotion. I'll give you an example of luck by emotion. By motion, by moving, right? So I'll give you an example of luck by emotion. I can remember, I've shared this story over and over again, but this is an adaptation. We had to write monetary economics, the examination of monetary economics. And that day, I felt that I was already prepared for the examination. I thought I was already prepared. I'd gone through the midterm, I've gone through the notes. I felt I was prepared. But then the examination was start by 2. But I decided that day that I have to go. It's my tradition, trying to go earlier than the time, right? And so I decided to go by 11. But then, yes, I decided to go to school by 11. And when I reached by 11, I said, okay, instead of going directly to the examination hall, let me go to the library, because most of my classmates were there. I just climbed the stairs, got to school, went to the library. And as I reached the library, a friend of mine, Hamida, rushed to me and was like, James, have you been able to answer this question? Have you able to answer this question? She was showing me a past question. And the questions on that past question were strange, but examinable. So I knew I was in trouble. Because I've not gone through this past question. I was like, Hamida, where did you get this past question from? Oh, like someone shared it to her. That was what she told me. I was just like, okay, fine, there's no problem. Just give me some minutes to go through these questions. I said, fine, okay. Now you can call that lucky, right? So I took the question, was going through it. As I was going through it, another friend of mine came in, Aliyu, because that was where my classmates are. So she was like, James, I saw this past question, I was going through it. The past question I never saw. So James, I saw this past question, and I was going through it. But then I was going through it, and I checked online. I saw the answers to them. So the lecturer adapted some online questions, something like that. So I saw the answers online, but I do not understand the answers, something like that. I was like, okay, fine, that's interesting. Show it to me. That's when he showed it to me. So right there, I had both the questions and the answers. And so all I had to do was kind of explain it to them both. Fast forward, we went to the examination hall. The exact questions from the past questions came out. Was James lucky? You could call that luck. But that's kind of luck from motion. So imagine, remember I was talking about luck from motion. So imagine I was just stuck up at home, right? Imagine I was stuck up at home saying, okay, fine, I'm going to be an island. I know it all. After I'm the best in the department. So what can they possibly add to me? Imagine I decided to just be all that cocky and stay at home or something like that. Would I have been able to assess that luck? No. That's luck by motion. That's luck by motion. And we have to take credit at some point. We designed that. Assuming I didn't move, that luck won't meet me. There was someone that put it really nicely. And I think this is going to give you a mental picture. Sometimes you have to move around and maybe luck will find you. But I'm pretty sure I've never met someone who has... I mean, okay, yeah, you have to move around and possibly you're going to stumble on something. You're going to stumble on luck. But I've never seen someone stumble on something just sitting down. I've never seen someone stumble on something just sitting down. And so as a student, right, this is one of the reasons why I do advise you during the examination, right, during the examination period. And for those that are actually in my session with undergraduates, that purchased my session with undergraduate material, I shared with you. You know, I divided the semester into 4 phases. Firstly, long before examination, shortly before examination, during examination, and after examination. And each time I tell you how I do art in this period. If you can remember, I tell you how I do art in this period and how you should act in this period. If excellence is your end goal, right? If you want to attain excellence. And so one thing I shared with you during the examination, I shared with them during the examination phase, is that always try to engage in small talks with your colleagues, with your classmates. You are not an island. There's a social element to academic success. By doing that, you are increasing the surface area. You're increasing the surface area on which luck can act. Right? You can get to know that participation that you didn't have access to. You can get to know that extra information, right, that will help you. You can get to know where you are lacking and where you need to work on. That's luck by motion. And that is the second classification of luck, right? That is it. The third classification of luck, I hope you understood that, is luck by awareness. Luck by awareness. Now, that's something that top students, that's an advantage that top students have that most students don't. I do say, and I do share it with people. I do share this with people that the advantage that you can get in the academic game is just information. Just having an information that other students don't have, that gives you a head start. And I don't share this always, but I'm going to share it here. So sometimes, right, we are going to have, most of our lecturers do not give so much of their materials to us. They do not share so much of the material. And so there's this particular lecturer, his name is Dr. Kenneth. I've shared about Dr. Kenneth. You will know him definitely if you've been following me for quite a while. So, for this course particularly, he just comes and just shares what he knows, most times from his brain, or sometimes he gets some scrappy textbook like that and be teaching us. I was just like, but no, to ace this guy's exam, he must have a source. There must be a source to what he's teaching us. Like, even for the curriculum, because even the curriculum he shares with us is kind of very sequential. And so he shares the scheme of work, and just like, here's the course content. Yeah, course content, that's what it's called. And so here's the course content. It looks so sequential, and I felt that it's coming from somewhere. And so what do I do? Here's what I'm talking about, luck from awareness. Luck from awareness. Listen very carefully. So I just feel like, but I'm aware there is something like the National Open University of Nigeria. And it seems to me that for a curriculum this, should I say, arranged, right? It seems to me that he is plugging into what is nationally expected for us to know, say at 200 level in that particular course. So let's just say, I think it was taking us principles of macroeconomics, I guess. Yeah, principles of macroeconomics. That was the course I was taking us on. Yes, I think, yeah, principles of macroeconomics. And I just felt that he's teaching us this course. There must be a nationally accepted or nationally curated curriculum for this. And yes, I feel that he's that kind of lecturer that wants us. He always tells us, do not just read for my exams. Read so that you can compete with other economic students from other schools and other departments. And I know that he's a product of public university, right? He's from public university. And I know that when he's talking about something like that, he actually meant that we can compete on a national scale. And so that means that there should be something about him, that he's sticking to the national curriculum. Because on a personal level, it seems that he has a national agenda, right? He wants us to be really competitive nationally. And so what possible source can I gain? Should I say the national curriculum or something like that? National Open University of Nigeria. National Open University of Nigeria, their curriculum, their documents, their course outline, their handbooks are available online. Accessible. That is the nature of National Open University. It's open for everyone. And so that was all I needed. And so when he taught us, and there was no, should I say, allusion to that information, right? I was aware that existed. That information back existed. And by the time I got that, I just like, okay, fine, this is principle of economics. I think there should be a principle of economics, should I say, open source handbook out there. Let me check it out. All I needed to do was just to Google it, right? Principle of economics, ECN, this. The ECN numbers, sometimes they differ by schools, by university, but the name is universal, right? So I had the principle of economics, PDF, National Open University. And bro, I saw the handout. And when I went through the course content, right, the one that is openly sourced, when I went to the course content, I saw that my lecturer was actually adopting the National Open University handouts. What am I talking about? Log by awareness. Right? I know so much of the information bank that when I saw this, I was able to deduce that his source is from somewhere, and I can locate that source. And I'm aware of the sources that are available. And so it was very easy for me to just link up information. And all I needed to do, right, to pass this course was just to make sure that I actually read that handout, read that book over and over again and master it. Of course, I had an A in this course. Like all the courses that he has taken me on, all the courses, he's a very, should I say, all this kind of ubiquitous lecturers. So almost no level. At every level I met him. And almost at every level he maintained that attitude of just using National Open University or using the national curriculum to teach us. And so that gave me an advantage because I was aware of that. That gave me an advantage in the whole academic game. So will you say I'm lucky? Maybe yes, but I was lucky by awareness. I don't know if you get the point. I've given you the idea. The first one is blind luck. The second one is luck by motion, right? And the third type of luck is luck by awareness. And then there's the fourth one that comes, and which is the fourth classification of luck. And that is called the luck by uniqueness. Luck by uniqueness. So just because of who you are, and who you've built yourself to be, right? There's certain forms of luck that just finds you. Certain kinds of luck just finds you. Let's just go back to that very example that I gave, my luck by motion, right? that example I gave about, I just went to the library and Hamida came to me with a past question, like, James, can you solve this? And before you know, Aliyu came to me with the answers to those past questions, and just like, James, I do not understand it. If I was not James, if I was not James, I don't think that could have met me. Did you understand? So Hamida came to me with the understanding that James being the top student in the department, could have an answer to my questions. And Aliyu, who has the answer, came to me with the assurance that James will be able to explain this to me. But James is here. James didn't just happen. James built himself to be James. Do you understand? So by the virtue of my uniqueness, by the virtue of the times I've put into building who I am, to being the top student, where everyone just wants to, I have a problem, please explain it to me. I have a problem, I have this answer, please explain it to me. I was able to put myself in a unique position where luck found me. And so what is the idea? What's the idea that Austin James, right, had here, or was sharing with us? More often than not, luck favors the prepared. Fortune favors the brave. I didn't really understand. And so you have to be, luck doesn't really so much find you. The only luck that finds you is blind luck. But for the luck that matters, it's often a product of emotion, a product of awareness, and a product of uniqueness. And most times for these three kinds of luck that you're even talking about being lucky, it's a product of the process. Motion is a process. Awareness is a process. And uniqueness is something that is built, also a process. So even in its fundamental state, luck is a residue of design. It is a residue of the process. And so if you want to be more lucky, or if you want to be luckier, you definitely know that there is a process to it. And you must abide by that. You don't just become lucky from the blue, right? Fortune favors the prepared. Fortune favors the brave. And so I don't know whether someone got something from what I've shared. If you did, please make sure you like. You don't leave here without liking this video live session. So let me take Desiree, or whatever. Chineche said that her first name is French. That's really interesting. But she has a question. So if you say it's French, that should be Desiree, something like that, given the signs. So I have this borrowed course on programming I'll be writing on 19th August. To say I'm scared is an understatement because I have no previous knowledge of programming. I'm feeling it's not an option. I just need an A, and I don't know how to start. That's an interesting conundrum. That's an interesting dilemma because 19th of August is just around. It's just around, and taking it on short notice and also wanting an A, it needs quite, as I said, it doesn't come by luck. It doesn't come by luck. Like if you're so fixated on the outcome and just feel that somehow it's going to come to you, it might not. It most likely won't. And so what you have to do is begin to be a student of the process. I think most of everything I've said is actually applicable to you. Do not just be obsessed by the outcome. Now ask yourself, what's the process of getting this? What are the things that I know I should be doing that I'm not doing? But I know that if I do it, it's going to get me to having an A in this very examination I'm about to sit on the 19th of August. Then you have to start doing them. Those things that you know you should be doing but you're not doing, start doing them. Those things I know that you are not doing but you should be doing, start doing them. And those things that you're doing that you know you shouldn't be doing, stop doing them. That is the basic template, right? And I don't really know so much about the examination, even I could have given you more specific answers, right, as pertains to that. But then I know that you have access to people that have done this before. You could get a template, a guideline from them. I don't know that there is kind of a past questions to this, or maybe an idea of what the formal examinations look like. Maybe it could guide you or preparation or something like that. I feel I need so much more information on this for me to give a much more robust answer. But The perfect template is that it's more like 19th of August is very, very close, and you can't. You need an obscene amount of blind luck for you to have an A without the adequate preparation. Just know that, and so you have to just work towards it. Work like someone that wants to have an A in the course, and hopefully you will get that. Any other question? I think I've expounded on the idea of luck. Right, it is a residue of the process, it's a residue of the design. Chinechere, you can actually send me a DM. Send me a DM. I've noticed your name, so when you send me a DM, elaborate on what is being required, and maybe I have to ask you some questions to get the parameters right before I can give you an actionable advice or answer to that. Yeah, I still have people watching. So any other question, any other quick question someone have, or maybe we'll call it a night. This kind of random. I think for other much more, should I say, structured live sessions, I'm going to advise you. I'm going to inform you in advance. That will be very helpful. And if you're interested in my Read to Recall Masterclass, I think this is opportunities to get it, because by midnight it is increasing. The price is increasing from 1,500. So I won't want you to miss it as this. I even have I had the live session with those the Read to Recall Masterclass. I just ended that. It was quite insightful and very genial. And so yeah, that is it for today. Explanation of luck. Luck is a residue of design, and so more often than not, even what you call the lucky moment, you have to walk it. You have to work it out. For the luck that matters, you have to create it. And I've shown you an example that the only luck that happens just from, as though it happens from the blue, is blind luck. But you see, luck by motion and luck by awareness and luck by uniqueness, you have a role to play in that.